Hi folks, welcome back to In the Kitchen with Mama. And tonight is New Year's Eve 2014. My daughter Melissa is out painting the town with her husband Nikaya, so my husband Ron is helping me tonight. Say hey, Ron.
Hey, Ron.
Okay. Most of the families have traditions for holidays. And for New Year's Eve, ours is Fettuccini Alfredo. So tonight I'm going to be making lemon pepper fettuccine with Alfredo sauce. To do that, I've got freshly ground Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, heavy cream, butter, and green onions. I usually use shallots, but they were out of them at the store, so we get to use green onions. I've got the fettuccine in the pot, if you want to see it. And it's beginning to boil, so I'm just going to put this over it so it'll come up to a boil a lot quicker. I've got the butter in the saucepan, and I am going to turn it back on and get it all bubbly. And we are going to saute the onions briefly. And these are green onions that I have cut. And they are going in that pot. And we're going to saute them. And it looks like it's boiling, so I'm going to let it just boil on its own. So I'm just going to stir it around until the onions kind of open up, the flavor comes into the room, and the whites turn translucent. And that's looking good. So, New Year's Eve, a lot of you, or maybe some of you, might not be feeling too good tomorrow. And I have a hangover cure for that while I'm cooking. Orange juice and goodies powder, and nice greasy food. And we typically make sausage pinwheels. So, we'll be making those on another video. And even if you can't take advantage of them this year, maybe next year, or the next hangover. So, the onions are cooking nicely, starting to turn translucent. And now I am going to turn that down. I am going to add 1 cup of heavy cream. Pour that around. And I am going to cook that until the cream starts to thicken. And that's usually about 5 minutes. The thing with creams is you do not want them to come to a full boil. If you do, you're going to break down your cream and break down your sauce. It will still taste pretty good, but you will have lost the nice thick consistency that you want with an Alfredo sauce. So it is cooking. Isn't it? And so now I am going to let that cook for just a second. You really should stir it constantly, but I have got to get that spaghetti off, or fettuccine. So I'm going to take the fettuccine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reserve about 1/3 of a cup of the fluid. Then I'm going to drain it. Very good. Then I'm going to, which is starting to reduce now. Turn that off. And there's my fan, so I know that my time is just almost done. So my actual cooking time was probably about 7 minutes because I kept it low specifically because I did not want it to break down. So if you want to take a look at it, it has thickened up now where you want it. So I'm going to turn off the eye, let it sit there for a minute. I'm going to take my Parmigiano Reggiano. I'm going to in the bottom of this bowl. And then I am going to put the sauce in. Now, oh, that's heavy. Wow. Seriously? Okay. And you're going to mix that around, just like that. Get your cheese incorporated. There we go. Mix it all up together. Now that water that we reserved is in case the cheese gets a little too thick, which it might. And it did. So we're going to add a little bit of the water that we saved from boiling and making the Alfredo sauce. And that is perfect. So then we're going to put just a little bit more cheese on top of that. Mix it in. Boy, that looks good.
Smells great.
And it's going to taste unbelievable. I'm going to finish up with the remainder of the reserved water. So the good thing about using green onions is you've got chives at the end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle a little chives on there. To make it pretty. Shake a little parsley on there. I ran out of fresh parsley, so sorry. Have delicious fettuccine Alfredo. Great New Year's Eve. Great with a Chianti. Happy New Year's Eve, people. Bon appetit.